Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rate the Record podcast, episode 15.
Woo!
I was going to say something quippy about 15, but I don't really know. It's another year older, I guess, or another episode older, I guess. But here we are.
As she breaks into Taylor Swift's 15.
Oh, we are far from Taylor Swift today. And farthest from Taylor Swift today are your hosts, Chris and
Savannah.
Yeah, that's exactly where we are. Far away, all the way in California today. I mean, hypothetically, I guess, or metaphorically, something. We'll know in a minute. But if you like this podcast, even though we never know what we're doing, out there on YouTube, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Very much appreciated. Leave some comments. We want you to be part of this musical community that we're trying to build.
Hell yes.
And of course, the audio world too. Hello out there. I know you can't see me waving, but I am with both hands, actually. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, follow, whatever you can do to help the community and be part of it. We want you there. Everything is going wonderful so far. So if you've been here before, you know what we do on the podcast. So hello, welcome back. Glad you're here. And we hope that you enjoy this episode, just like you have clearly the other ones that you have watched. But if you're new here, welcome. We hope you enjoy your stay. We are also obviously very glad to have you here again, trying to build that community. You're part of it. So if you don't know what we do, each week, Savannah and I, we will choose an album, be it completely at random of our own choosing, special anniversary occasion type album, thumbs up, or even viewer's choice. One of those options. We will discuss the album at length. We rank the songs and then we rate the record.
Woo! And then we have to get canned cheering after that.
Yeah, I want it to be really low quality, like as if it was like ripped from a 1960s game show.
Yes, exactly.
100% like opposite direction, like what I want the show to sound like.
Golf claps. Yes, thank you.
Yes. But before we go any further than that, I'm finally getting the structuring of this introduction proper because I was off of it for a few weeks. We do a disclaimer before we talk about the album. We do that every single week just to make sure that we're, all in the same range of not being assholes and like respecting each other's opinion, whether you like the album or not, or vice versa, et cetera, whatever. I don't know what the vice versa is for. But anyways, the disclaimer is as follows. The following thoughts and opinions we're going to discuss regarding this album is strictly of our own personal opinions. We are not professional music reviewers. We are simply two friends having fun, discussing, and listening to music. We encourage respectful discussion and friendly banter of each episode, but we do not condone and will not tolerate bullying or belligerence based on the opinions of ourselves or others. This podcast is a casual and for fun project, and you are welcome to take what we say regarding the albums we rate with a grain of salt. I screwed it up right at the end there, but that's okay. For the audio listeners, I screwed it up on the video. Audio, I was flawless as usual.
As usual.
Although there's only one episode where I looked right down the camera and memorized the whole thing, and now I don't do that anymore.
Oh, showtime's over. That's it. Party's over.
Yeah, my moment has passed. Well then, so for today, we gave the wink, nudge, thumbs up for special occasion anniversary album. You already know what it is from just the title of the episode alone. You can see it. We are discussing Hotel California for its 45th anniversary. God. It is an old album now. You don't even think about that, but yes, this album's 1976 and is from Eagles, or just the Eagles if you want to simplify it and make it sound like it actually fits a sentence properly.
Yeah.
But it's just Eagles.
It sounds very strange, and everything that I've read about them, it says the Eagles. But then when you look them up as sort of a informative thing, it says Eagles this, Eagles that. I'm like, I can't. It
feels like an incomplete sentence or just
so weird.
Like wrong. Same thing with, again, like Scorpions, the Scorpions. So like it's just call them the. It's fine, whatever. But regardless, Eagles, Hotel California, rant for another day. But we are here for this album, and we should I'm probably sure a lot of people know about the Eagles and specifically Hotel California, not Hotel California, Hotel. I can speak.
Words and things and stuff.
I didn't do my vocal warm-ups today. My mouth is not as loose as it usually is. So that'll have to go as I keep going. But so while I'm getting that ready, Savannah, tell them all about the Eagles, or Eagles, in Hotel California.
All right. The Eagles were formed in Los Angeles, California in 1971. Founding members include Glenn Frey and Bernie Leadon on guitar, Don Henley on drums, and Randy Meisner on bass, although many changes in band lineup also saw guitarist Joe Walsh join the band in 1975, replacing Leadon. The Eagles have been on and off for the duration of their career, with the current lineup running since 1920. I cannot.
I'm not there either. It's fine. I will allow you to continue.
With the current lineup running since 2017. I don't know where I got 19 from. Now, the album in question, Hotel California. If you haven't heard it, you have heard of it. Hotel California was released on December 8th, 1976, making it 45, like you said. That is just, I don't know. When I listened to it as a kid, it sounded like it was already 45. It was recorded in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles with producer Bill Simzik on Asylum Records. 3 singles were released: New Kid in Town, Life in the Fast Lane, and the title track, Hotel California. It hit number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart and has through the whole duration of its life, 32 million copies worldwide. New Kid in Town and Hotel California both hit number 1, whereas Life in the Fast Lane only hit number 11.
A couple of things on that. First off, there's a song on there that I thought for sure was a single, and I know you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, same.
You would think because of how great it is. And we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But also, too, 45 years old. By the point of this episode coming out, that is this Wednesday, I believe, because, again, we pre-record these, obviously, because they need to be edited. But, December 6th, so December 8th is, yes, this Wednesday. So there you go. It's just weird to say that because, you're kind of right. When we were younger and we heard this like on the radio or whatever, it already sounded like, oh, this is our parents' music. And our parents are old, even though we were like 8 and they were like in their 30s or whatever.
We are those people now. We are those old people. It's wild.
I mean, I wish... I mean, not even specifically for this episode, but I kind of want to like do a little thing of how old my parents were. Like, I'm 32 now, and I want to know what came out when they were 32 and what they were listening to, because I know the kind of music they listen to.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, okay, what was just fresh that I know nowadays that is huge?
That's really funny you say that, because when my parents were my age, it was 2000 and 2001. So I am so excited for that. I like that idea.
My parents are about a decade older than that. Then they're both in their 60s right now. So I got to go back to the 90s when they were my age type thing, like the very early 90s.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not talking about each other's parents today. No, we're talking about what our parents listen to, and also what we listen to, obviously. Hotel California by the Eagles. So we're going to jump into it, but I'm going to give a little, my own little disclaimer of my own, because if you've been listening to the show since the beginning, this is where I feel like I've literally taken you by the hand and walked you down the wrong road. And you'll understand what I mean as we go. But if you've been watching since the beginning, you'll know that although I haven't used the term in a while, I dubbed certain songs the Hotel California effect. And I'll explain it very briefly right now. What that is a song that I've enjoyed a lot. But then certain songs you just hear on the radio way, way, way too much, and gets to the point where you despise them just from hearing it, and because of how often it's played, like i.e. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen,
Tom Sawyer by Rush. Even though I love the band, I can't stand the song.
That and Closer to the Heart.
Oh, Lord.
And of course, the track for today, Hotel California. As you know, I'm just going to transition right now because this is probably going to be the best time to do it, because I'll talk about the song first. So yes, the very first song on the album, Hotel California. So going into this one, I had to mentally prepare myself to listen to this one because again, I was sick of this song like 10, 15 years ago. So I mean, I want every excuse to never listen to the song again. But then we have a podcast where we rate albums that have songs on them that I'm not particularly fond of. Although, again, this is where I think I've kind of led certain people down the wrong road. And since we're in the kind of talking about the album now, I could just say it's not a bad song. I've never hated Hotel California. It is a great song. There's no escaping that. Like, I mean, it has that very iconic intro with the guitar and the really nice bass line, sets the atmosphere well. I mean, there's a really great really great mixing in this song, like the bass, the tone of the bass. You can actually hear the strings and not just the rumbly sound.
Yeah.
I really appreciate things like that. It's a solid mix. And I mean, like, the sound of this song is so full, despite being like just a couple of guitars and a bass guitar, vocals, drums. Like, there was a lot done with this one. And of course, Don Henley, just with his amazing storytelling abilities. Like, Hotel California is a really good song that I never want to hear again. And now that, like, that is most of my review for the song, and also obviously the iconic guitar solo. Not like the most iconic in the world, but obviously it does stand out. It's really well done, and obviously just the arpeggio and the slow arpeggio ending that just kind of goes into the fade out. That sounds amazing too. I really like that. But with that said, it's out of my head now, and I never want to hear it again. I've mentally prepared myself for this moment, got through it, gave it a pretty nice score, actually, which we'll get to obviously towards the end. But now I never, ever want to hear Hotel California ever again. I take my bow, spotlight, here's the roses, I walk off camera.
So are we never doing a redux of this album?
If we do, it likely won't be because of this song.
Yeah.
But
so we can just skip the song in the next one.
If we ever have to, we kind of talked about this off camera, but we don't have to go in depth. But like, we talked about this where it's like, it came down to one song rather than the album itself.
Yeah.
So I don't think Hotel California's score is going to change here for like the song.
I was just trying to force you to listen to it again.
You can try and try. We don't do live albums around here.
Well, everything that you said in your nice presentation pretty much encapsulates everything I wrote down. I do really like the bass line. It's just, I don't know. There's always something about a bass line that it kind of feels like I don't know, it itself is like taking you on a journey. And I like that because it's not just the same sort of things.
Yeah.
I also like how the lyrics take me on a journey where it's like the music is kind of, I don't want to say it's the same, but it's just like the bedding for the story and the storytelling and everything. So I feel like I don't know. You know what? I could go on forever about how this song sort of paints imagery in my head. But the guitar solo, I don't even remember the guitar solo in it most of the time because my brain is so focused on the words to the song. So when I do hear the solo, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a solo in this song. I really like this.
Yeah, I mean, like the lyrics are great too. I mean, because obviously, again, Don Henley with his writing, he's just he's a very detailed storyteller.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he obviously uses a lot of metaphors and hypothetical stuff too. But I mean, it's still there. You still get it. But the guitar solo has always stood out to me because it just of how well it's done. It doesn't go overboard. It doesn't like shred. Yeah. And I mean, like if you tried to shred in this one, it would sound like garbage. Yeah. Like the guitar solo properly matches the mood of the song, and the mood is like that kind of like dark, cool air desert kind of thing, like California desert. So I mean, like I don't know, they got the feeling right.
The solo to me kind of feels like a featured verse where it's like they had somebody come in and rap over it or something, but they brought someone in and they just, played their solo over it. And I like that.
The remix of the song where they add in like DJ Khaled or something.
Oh my God.
You imagine the Hotel California intro and just hear DJ Khaled. And then immediately I'm like, first off, I never wanted to hear the song again. Second off, this happens.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then they'll have a music video where somebody comes out of a pool playing the guitar.
And DJ Khaled's just in that pool, just sitting there looking like a dumb idiot. Because I no secrets here. I do not like DJ Khaled a little bit, not even a little bit.
I have no idea what he has done. So,
well, the good news is we don't even have to talk about him. We can move on, because Hotel California, as I said, great song. I get angry when I hear it because I'm so unbelievably tired of it.
Yeah.
Because it is played beyond, not just to death, beyond death. It's like you buried it, you dug it back up, you dressed up the corpse. It's like, it's already dead, just put it back. And then you dress it up some more, and then you take it on a fucking world tour. Stop. And then I heard that the Eagles are doing... I was just gonna say the Eagles. It sound like they're doing a Hotel California tour next year for 2022. They just announced it, so great. That's gonna be a thing.
Okay, now replace the Eagles with Kiss, and that is for them too.
Do not get me started on Kiss. I have gripes with Gene Simmons, but that's a whole other thing. So we'll move on now.
Moving on, the new kid in town.
Yes, the other single on this album that's not Hotel California.
Yep.
So yeah, this is where like my mind started to feel a little refreshed. I'm glad Hotel California was the first song on the album. Just get it out of the way for me. Like I get that some people that's like their favorite song of all time. Mm-hmm. But it's just good to get it out of the way. Now I feel like I'm in some sort of clarity here. Although New Kid in Town doesn't, I have a note about this going forward, actually. So I will kind of correct myself as I go. But I originally said that it doesn't feel like the best follow-up to Hotel. Yeah, I almost said horror again. Hotel California. Well, I'm having a lot of Freudian moments here. I don't even know why. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know where else it would go on the track. Like maybe it would feel better elsewhere on the track list. Mm-hmm. But as I said, there is a couple songs ahead where I'll make mention of this and be like, never mind, I like it.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd just throw that in there just as some element of surprise. I don't know.
I always forget that they wrote this song. Like I hear it on the radio, but it never connects to me that it's the Eagles ever.
Yeah, not only did I not know it was the Eagles, but like when the song came on, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, wait, I have heard this song.
Yeah.
Johnny Come Lately. Yeah, I know what you are.
Yeah. Is this what yacht rock is?
Something along the lines of this. Yeah.
I'm into it. I like it.
And also I'm pretty sure like, Take It Easy by the Eagles is also yacht rock as well.
We should do Air Supply coming up.
I mean, we have a full calendar as it is. But
actually, we're full for the next 10 years. We're not doing that.
But that doesn't mean you can't send in requests. We can put our own subject to change all the time. We'll prioritize you at some point.
If somebody requests Air Supply, we have to do it. So please request Air Supply.
Don't do it. You'll be banned. I'll actually ban you from the channel.
Do it. This song isn't what I think of when I think of the Eagles, though. I definitely think more like Hotel California, Life in the Fast Lane, like the faster stuff. So the slower stuff doesn't connect to me.
This also really wasn't. Well, I don't think this was like a standout track, even as a single. Like it sounds fine, and everything like that. I mean, like the things I really liked about it were like the vocals were mixed kind of softly, but because of the mood and the sound of the song, it actually fits really nicely. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is kind of like. It's one of those songs that we've brought up in the past. Like, is this a ballad or isn't it? Like, what qualifies as that? Because I don't even know what to call it. The vocal harmonies in the chorus are really nice. Because I think Don Henley can sound good in the foreground or background. Mm-hmm. His harmonies in the chorus are really nice. And I mean, there are like, it's funny because I finally decided after 3 albums to put my headphones back on and listen to the album rather than just listening through speakers. And I'm glad I did because like there's a lot of things I'm sure I would have missed. And I know I will mention this later in the review as well. But for this one specifically, I can hear these like soft kind of keyboards. Like there's a couple different synthesizers going on. I think there's like a piano type thing, maybe an organ. I can't even remember. But regardless, they're soft. But the thing is, they carry the song nicely. It fills up some space. So I don't know. It was really nice to hear that.
I feel that it could have ended a little earlier. I don't know. A couple of the songs coming up, I say the same thing. It just could have ended a little earlier. I feel like a lot, yeah, because the average song length is like 4.5, 5 minutes on this album. Yeah. Like throw in another verse or something, but extending the ending is just sort of, I don't know. I'm exhausted of it. Yeah. It's like saying goodbye to someone and then still talk like on the phone and then still talking and then saying, okay, well, like I'll talk to you later. And then talking about something else and be like, okay, yeah, have a good day. I'll talk to you later. And it's like, just get off the damn phone. There was one time, very quick story about that because it's so relevant. Like not even this past weekend, I went to a football game with my parents. And before we went, I was having like some beer with my dad. And his buddy calls on the phone. It's like, yeah, okay, we got to go. And then so he's just like, oh, okay, well then, hey, when I'm coming back to Hamilton, blah, blah, blah. And like new conversations like, okay, well, we're getting ready to pack the car now. He's like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. My car broke down the other day. It's like, shut up. Yeah. You're like, not right now. Thank you. No gripe against people on the East Coast, but he's an
East Coasters. So if you know any people like that, they talk an awful lot.
Very, very friendly people. Very friendly.
Chatty.
Very
Doesn't
much
help
so.
when someone like me is introverted. I know I just can't deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, not a bad song. Not the greatest on the album, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my last note is just that the heavy tone electric guitar that kicks in about midway, I don't know, didn't feel like it added much to it. It just sort of, if it was gone, I don't know if I would have even noticed anything was missing. So.
It's funny because I can't really recall it, so it must have not been that memorable to begin with.
Yeah.
Not that I was having a bad time listening to the track, but I mean, just like, yeah, I don't know. I guess if something's not catching my attention, I won't pay attention too much to it.
Yeah. That's why some albums I'm like, yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I didn't even hear it because it doesn't stick out to me. But every time there's horns, I'm like, what the hell is that? I don't hear that often. So
yeah. Bad news, no horns in this entire album.
No, couple strings or at least strings.
Well, there's definitely real strings in a one or two tracks, but like, yeah, then towards the end, it's like just synth.
Yeah.
All right, so we're still continuing on with the singles on the album. Well, technically the final single, I guess. Life in the Fast Lane.
This is what I think of when I think of the Eagles. Stuff like this. And I like the bluesy guitar.
Oh, yeah, well, just the opening lick alone, or riff, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And that alone, it still has like that kind of iconic feel to it, kind of like the opening of Hotel California. You get that like nice soft overdrive. And also, like, behind the bass line, you hear what I believe to be the clavinet, which is like this kind of funky sounding, like, piano type thing. It's hard to explain. You've definitely heard it in like Stevie Wonder songs and stuff like that, and his funkier stuff. Like, if you listen again, you'll definitely hear it. I think it's a clavinet anyways. But yeah, it really makes the song so much more danceable than it already is, because this is a very danceable song.
Oh, hell yeah.
Who says you can't dance to rock music?
That's what I'm saying. I like the lone guitar and bass at the end of the bridge. It's very...
Oh, yeah.
Super funky.
Everything. This is another one of the songs that are just like really well written. Things are used properly, and like you really utilize the talent that you have rather than just kind of playing along. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It really did help. And I mean, yeah, the opening riff, as I mentioned before, which also plays through the chorus too. It's obviously very fun. And as I said, it feels iconic, but I feel like it's ironically underrated.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know, when you hear about like really cool guitar riffs and like people kind of like do their little rankings for this, you almost never hear about this one. I really like it. I think it's so cool.
That's true. Yeah.
So you gotta, if you do your own tier list out there, make sure you give that guitar riff some credit.
Yeah, and don't put AC/DC on the list.
If I see Back in Black on your list, I'm immediately blocking you.
I don't know. You can share your gripes, but I hate AC/DC. Sorry.
Well, okay, hot take, because one of us has to do it eventually, like some sort of hot take. This riff is better and probably more iconic than Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Yeah.
I don't care if people disagree. Remember that grain of salt? Well, hold the whole damn rock.
I agree, because I like this better. So I have a personal bias that I'm willing to admit and share. So yeah.
I mean, it's just a bunch of simple hammer-ons on like an open string. It's not that hard. But anyway, before I piss off too many AC/DC fans.
Yeah. You know what? I like this song. I like this song.
Just generally a fun and catchy track.
Promotes itself to fast driving, that's for sure. Hence the title, I assume.
I feel like I could have done some lyrical breakdowns for this one, because again, with like the songwriting on this one, it is really good, quite descriptive. So I mean, like, you probably can run through it and get an idea for what it is. But I mean, I didn't bother doing that. Yeah, I know that the song Hotel California is apparently supposed to be about like Americans and how they like just have too much excess of everything and they're like obsessed with it type thing, just wanting more and more, or just like unnecessarily wanting things.
And that was in 1976. Yes. So imagine now, like, they rewrite that with new lyrics and they'd be like, you know what? I can't. It's too much. It's you guys are fucked. Like, this is
why I love when bands write songs where like you'll celebrate it for one reason, but the lyrics are something completely different. Like, I think like Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen's like an anti-American or like a Vietnam vet type thing. Like,
and everyone's like, I'm from the US.
Yeah, everyone shits on the Vietnam vets, but it's like, oh, this song's so patriotic. It's like, this is my anthem. It's like, okay, good for you. Or it's like how people at their weddings play like Good Riddance by Green Day, or they play like I'll Be Watching You by The Police or something. Just why would you do this to yourself?
Yeah, do not listen to the words.
Okay, going on to a song I thought I recognized the title for, but obviously I didn't because I don't think I've heard this one before. Wasted Time, off of this album, track number 4. Yes, I want to make sure I was on the right song here. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. I've been busy for 5 days, so if I don't sound as enthused as I usually do, it's just because things happen outside of this show. So I mean, tired, very tired.
Oh, life.
So this is where I bring back the note about New Kid in Town and how I said it feels like it shouldn't have followed Hotel California. I take that back because, I mean, you immediately have this like ballad, Afterlife in the Fast Lane. This one is way more ballady than
New hell Kid. Yeah.
Like this one's pure. This one feels appropriately placed. So it actually, because of that, made me appreciate the placement of New Kid in Town even more.
Yeah.
So yes, that's where I said I was going to correct myself. And I kind of purposely did that in my notes too. I could have just erased it and rewritten it, but I was like, whatever, it's a stream of consciousness at this point. I'll run with it.
I can see the possible appeal of the song, but it's just not to me. And I found this song far, far longer than I wanted it to be.
There was a few tracks like that.
I think by the time I looked down at how long the song had been playing, I think there was a minute left and I was like, how is this still on? And I don't even think it's that long of a song. So I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. I would probably skip this song. To me, it was just, like I said, with a couple others, it was just sort of it laid the music for in like a sort of interactive lyric flow, but just sort of the music was kind of there for me. I found myself paying more attention to the vocals and lyrics, which we've already said we don't really do. So I'm like, I could have definitely glossed over this completely.
Well, I mean, you can if you really want to. Nothing's stopping you. I mean,
hell no.
I went all out for Bungle.
Yeah,
yeah, it can be a little difficult, time consuming, unless you're already like really knowledgeable of the content, which I was for California, which by the way, this is the second California referenced album that we've done.
It's always weird to me to kind of explain my understanding of lyrics just because I may have such a out of left field idea of something that I'm so like, oh no, I don't want to be wrong. That I'm like, I'm not even going to listen to it. I'm not even going to analyze them. It could be something completely different. And then it ends up being a, Green Day Good Riddance thing. Yeah. And you're like, that is not what that is about.
Well, unless a song has like a straightforward meaning, then it's okay to have your own interpretation. I mean, like, with some of the Bungle tracks that we did, I mean, some of them I had kind of prior knowledge of from like reading things, but then some of them I kind of just took a stab at what I felt the song was trying to say, even though it can be kind of weird because Mike Patton writes very differently, but we're not talking about Mike Patton. God, I was doing these
Let's
tangents.
talk about the Eagles.
But people want to hear Mr. Bungle. Clearly, our analytics show that. But yeah, for this song, I mean, I do like the composition through it. It's like not the best, obviously, and it's like again not the most memorable, but I enjoyed it. The piano's really nice. The addition of the strings, which I believe this is a real string section, that was really nice too. Really nice touch. And there was like this change up that kind of came in around, like, I believe I have it written the 320 mark. It's like a section of like oohs that come in, like these harmonized oohs that really kind of like added more of a flavor to the song. And I really liked that. And I would have liked to have heard more of that, but it was kind of a brief section.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was unfortunate. Once it was over, they kind of did it again at the end of the song, but without the oohs, just like the instrumentals, which was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. They probably should have did more with it. I think it would have been better just to end the song going out on like a different tune type thing.
Yeah. I have absolutely nothing else for that one. That one was just kind of a
And now we'll move on to really part 2 of Wasted Time. the thing is we discussed off camera whether or not we wanted to include this because like including reprises can sometimes be a little iffy or like unnecessary. This one I wasn't certain about, and I was afraid because if we added this one, which just so everyone knows, we are not scoring the song separately. We're scoring it with Wasted Time, so it's just one big complete track.
Mm-hmm.
But I did write one single note for this one because it's short too. It's just like a string, kind of sweepy string thing. Just a reprise and interlude. Sounds nice, but it's just a transition between side A and side B of the record.
That's really funny that you said that because I put sounds like I'm in a Disney movie and beginning of side 2 to continue side 1 because like I listened to it on Spotify. So when I hear this, I'm like, this is definitely where you flip the record.
I definitely had Disney tape cassettes when I was a kid that actually told you to like flip tape over.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
You can just fit the story on one side. Why not? I'm too lazy to get up. I'm also like 8. But yeah, there's not really much else to say just to tie that into Wasted Time itself. If we didn't add that, I won't say much actually because I don't want to spoil anything, but I did say depending on what we do with this song, there was 3 potential outcomes to do with this song. It may or may not change my ranking to an actual tier, like from one tier to another. Ooh. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So I was kind of very curious to know what you would want to do with this track. So we lumped it in. That was option 3 on my list. So we'll find out my score later.
Hell yes. Okay, let's get to the next song. I like this song. Spoiler. Spoiler.
So do I. And this is the one we were surprised wasn't a single victim of love. I mean,
I've heard it on the radio, like back in the city I grew up in all the time. And then I moved on the other side of the province and I never heard it. So I don't know if that was just like a locational thing, if it was like somebody played it on the radio and it caught traction, but I like this song. I really like this song.
It's one of the better ones on the album. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Because I mean, like the opening riff alone screams like Cool Leather Jacket song.
Oh, hell yeah.
You put your jacket, you pop the collar, and you strut your shit down the street like you're gone.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
I got that the half notes on the drums, it makes it seem more serious, like sort of, pushing you forward physically. And it's not as bouncy as like a faster beat would be, but it's like, you really, I don't know. It just, there's something about it that kind of reminds me of like footsteps or marching, or it's just very serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me. And I like that.
I'm a sucker for like well-written slow beats on drums. And I think one of the best examples I can ever give is like The Band, for example. Like if you hear the song, like The Weight or something like that, like it's just like this slow, chunky kind of drum beat that kind of carries the song, but it sounds so good and just it fills out a lot. And like the song kind of does the same thing. Like it gives me the same vibes, not as well as The Band does it because they're really good for it, but this song gives me those vibes absolutely, and I really do like it because of that. I mean, more than just that, but it's that I love the slow, chunky drum beats. That's really cool. I don't think the chorus plays as well as the verses do in the song. Like, I don't think it sounds bad, but I mean, the verses are just so much more effective in just setting this kind of attitude.
Yeah.
It's a much more relatable attitude where it seems like a little more tame in the choruses. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. It seems to get like a little softer.
Yeah, a little, because it's especially because like everything has like this stabby kind of staccato feel, I guess, in the verses, and just kind of like separates notes so much further from each other, which kind of makes it sound cool. And then the verses, it's just kind of like everything gets spread out, like just like butter on toast. Just you start at the one end of the bread here, and then you spread all the way to the other. Yeah, that's what the choruses do. And I don't know, I don't like it as much as the verses, but it still sounds good. Yeah, I like the solo. It fits. It's like the perfect fit, because if there was anything more or less, I think it would sound strange. And I mean, I love how this song has like the rock and roll cliche ending. Like most songs we've covered do, but I mean, like this one, because of the cool leather jacket feel, gives me that rock and roll feeling. And the ending kind of stretches out for a little while. But because of that, I actually wrote the note of just saying that like the song probably didn't need to be 4 minutes and 10 seconds. It probably didn't.
Yeah.
If it, like the ending went on for a while, it didn't need to, but it did. It didn't really affect the score though, to be honest. I just, in my own head, it was like, yeah, it didn't need to be this long.
The Mariah Carey vocal run at the end kills me. 100% top notch.
Oh yeah, Don Henley hitting those high notes, eh? He does that a few times in this album.
Yeah.
Now we know where she gets it from.
I just love the at the end. All right.
Finger in the ear, just hand trailing down.
Exactly.
And my final note is it has to do with one line that Don Henley has in the song. I could be wrong, but I'm not. Don Henley's lyrics are my mantra for this show. That's pretty much what I tell you every single week, but like he summed it up nicely in one little package there.
And then I have 6 days to cry, and then I wipe off my eyes, and then we start again.
Yeah, by the time you come back, like the tears are already out of your system. It's like, okay, new album. Maybe I'm right this time. I'm just like, no, you're really not.
And then I cry again. If anybody wants to contribute to my tissue fund to dry my wet, weary eyes, you could give us an email and do so. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll set up one of those. Not even just Patreon. What's that one? It's like quick donations. Like you can buy. It's kind of like Ko-fi or something, like KOFI or something like that. It's like you can buy someone quote unquote a coffee. You just basically donate them like $2.
No idea. I think of Kofi Kingston from the WWE. And I think of Venmo, which is not available in Canada.
Oh yeah. We don't have any cool stuff where we can just give people free money like that, huh?
Nope.
Damn it.
So sad.
Just wire us money. It's fine. Wire transfers work in Canada. It's cool. But anyways, we'll move on. And while you're wire transferring us money, we'll tell you about the next song, Pretty Maids All in a Row, which I can't remember correctly, but I believe this is the first song Joe Walsh sings on the album. Yes. I could be wrong. Yes.
Yes.
I noticed that you know his voice right away.
Oh, hell yeah. I like him. That was first line. I like Joe Walsh, hard stop, period.
I'm hit or miss with Joe Walsh. I like some of his stuff, and then other stuff I'm just like, we're done. We're good. Yeah. And this is one of those we're done, we're good songs because I'm just I don't know. I wasn't huge on this one. Like, it's not too far removed from the previous ballad we already heard, which was Waste of Time.
Literally is not.
It's a little too soon. Like, I literally wrote the note. I need a little more energy, my dudes. Mm-hmm. Like, because like you play Victim of Love, which kind of got me going again. It's like, oh, sweet, we're getting back into this. And then
like yank the brakes.
You like literally bitch slap me with this song, just right clean across the cheek. And I mean, like, and I honestly don't have much to say for this one, to be completely honest, because I mean, it's kind of an uneventful song.
So same for me. I don't feel much during these slower songs just because I'm not listening to the lyrics and not sort of going on the storytelling train. So it just sort of felt very one note and very to me, I guess. It was okay. Nothing stood out. I didn't hate anything. If I listened to the album again, I would listen to it, but I probably would still pay just as much attention, which was very little.
Would you only listen to it because Joe Walsh sings it?
No, you threatened me and told me that I had to do this show. So that's why I did that.
That was supposed to be behind the scenes, but thank you for that.
But Joe Walsh singing it was a plus. Yes. I think he's an amazing guitar player. So
yeah. This band really did have like a lot of musicians who got like really good on their solo stuff, like Don Henley, Joe Walsh. Who's the other? God, there's another guy who was just on the tip of my...
Glenn Frey.
That wasn't the name on my tongue, but that's one of them. God, oh geez, I don't even remember. But I will say that, like, while I'm quickly Googling it on my phone, I will say that I'm glad that the song didn't actually go on like super long, but it felt like it ended before it was properly completed. Yeah. If that makes any sort of sense. Because like, I don't know, like for most songs, like if you're playing while it's fading out, like that's fine and it can sound fine, but like it didn't work on this one. Yeah. So I don't know. It felt kind of weird to like not be underwhelmed by a song, but then it feels like it wasn't complete. So I'm just like, no, keep playing because you're clearly not done. So like it was like a conflicting type feeling. And as I pull up the personal chart now, so George Walsh, yes, Don Henley. No, come on, there was one more. Where the hell is he? Or maybe I was hallucinating. I don't know.
I only know Don Felder, Randy Meisner, and Glenn Fry, but I don't know if the former two did much on their own.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I could remember, I'll throw it in editing. Maybe it's just something I saw somewhere, or maybe they weren't on this particular album. I don't know.
Yeah.
But honestly, other than that, I don't really have much more to say about the song. It's there. It's doing the thing.
Same for me. I liked it because Joel sang it, but aside from that,
there's your bonus points. Well, for you, but not for me specifically. But speaking of Joe Walsh singing, now correct me if I'm wrong. Did he sing on this next track too? Number 8, Try and Love Again.
No, Randy Meisner, the bassist. He also sang. He sang another one, and he went really. His vocal range is fairly high. I can't think of the song. My brain farts. It's sending to me through the screen.
Yeah, I don't think either of us are. I think like we're virtually sharing the same brain cell right now.
Take It to the Limit. That song. He sings that song too.
Yeah, but Take It to the Limit. That's the Eagles.
Yes. And that's the bassist who sings it.
It's a good thing that song's not on this album. Jeez, that tanked the score. I do not like that song in the least. Oof.
Oh, gosh.
Oof. Hotel California just got that much better.
Oh, God.
No. All right. So Try and Love Again, track number 8. We're almost done because, album from the 70s are usually like 8 to 10 songs. They're not that long.
Oh, hallelujah.
So, I mean, aside from Victim of Love, I'm starting to think that side B was never meant to be memorable at all.
Yeah.
It's just so far a bunch of like softer songs that just kind of like taking me out of the element of what I thought the album was trying to make inside A.
Yeah. I like the reemergence of Yacht Rock again. Thumbs up for that. The shiny bright guitar at the beginning reminds me of Cats in the Cradle. So I was kind of expecting listening to that. And I would have preferred maybe another verse at the end instead of like a 20-minute finish. What is with these long endings? I hate this.
Yeah, they just like to drag on for a little while, even if you don't need it.
Oh my God. At the end though, like if they would have cut a little bit from, I guess, the bulk and the end, that would have been good. But the end where the vocals just go up high, he goes, ooh, just like the oohs and everything, gave me another another diva moment there. It's like the finger and I don't know. I see them doing it in the studio. They're not beyond it. You thought
a lot of pop divas got all their high pitch from like previous Motown singers or Prince or something like that? No, you got it from Eagles.
Yep. Yeah, white guys from California.
They know what's up when it comes to being pop divas. No, not really. That I don't even know where I was going with that bit, to be honest. That goes to show how well my brain's working today. So this is another thing where the drums are kind of going slow, kind of like that. And there's like this 16th note feel on the hi-hats, but even with that, because it's a slow beat, it doesn't sound that fast. Yeah. So I thought that was really nice. It kind of gives it a good groove and a flow without like going super overboard with it. Yeah, the song definitely goes on longer than it needs to.
God, yes.
You call the song Try and Love Again. I say go back to the studio and try to fix the song length again. Great joke. I'm glad I wrote that in because it's not funny at all.
Punch to the gut.
I think the worst part about that quote unquote joke, I'm not even going to call it a joke. The worst part about that is when I originally wrote that in my notes, I chuckled a bit. And now the fact that I got it out in the show and it just fell so flat even in my own head that I'm like ashamed of myself.
You're like, let's just re-record that part.
Oh no, I'll leave my screw ups in. We're good. I gotta get it all out there, you know. And also, I will say though, at the end of the song, the "gonna try" repetition in the vocals, brief but very annoying. Yeah.
Well, he's got to get the vocal, you know, the
gonna
runs.
Gonna try. Then go try. Go actually try and stop singing.
You sound like a train doing that.
So does he. A big old ass train. Jesus.
Oh my God. I don't have much for the song other than just, I don't know. I can see myself like listening to it at the grocery store. And I really like when the bass follows the vocal melody, though. Like I did notice that in this one. It feels like you're walking through the song with a friend. You know, I enjoyed that. But aside from that last note, I don't know. It again was okay.
It's just there, and it's nearly ending the album.
I feel like that's going to become just my catchphrase. I'll get my t-shirts made up and everything will be, it was just okay.
Yeah, eventually when we get merch going, like when we have our huge merch line that'll sell out like crazy, it's just going to be like a cartoony picture of you doing this with like a minimal look on your face of like, and it just says, it's okay.
Yep.
To the audio listeners out there, you're going to have to wait to see when that shirt comes out because I know you have no idea what I just did. Just imagine something.
Yep. But yeah, that's all I got.
Song number 9, a cover of Papa Roach's Last Resort.
Imagine that.
No, it's The Last Resort by the Eagles, obviously, not Papa Roach. It's years, decades removed, as if I had to explain that.
Imagine that, though, like a California soft rock version of Papa Roach.
Don't give a fuck if I come on bleeding.
And then just the guitar, the acoustic guitar, and everybody smiling in the background.
This is my last resort. Yeah, something like that. And you need that Don Henley strain on your voice.
Oh my God.
Although I really overemphasize it now. It's like, make him sound really strained when he's not, clearly not. But I don't know. I like making it cartoony. But anyways.
Yes.
Yeah. I mentioned about side B just being like the softer side and everything like that, just the non-memorable side. And yes, side B has been very soft, except for Victim of Love. Like literally everything else has been very soft. Yep. So it feels weird to like have to get to this song and let go of the energy I was hoping to get back from songs like Life in the Fast Lane or Victim of Love.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I guess it's not the worst thing, but it just, I was expecting more. I don't know. You really blue balled me with the energy on this one, Eagles.
I feel very middle of the road about this. The music felt like it was just sort of a vessel to get the storytelling across. Again, like I've said multiple times thus far, but I found myself tuning out a bit. So if I'm not listening to the storytelling, I'm clearly not listening to the music. And again, like the last track, it's something I can see myself grocery shopping too. And I probably wouldn't notice it unless I was like, oh, I know this song, or I think I know this song. And that's it. Then I would just, pick up my box of mini wheats.
I love that you mentioned the grocery store thing, because if it's not Viva Forever by the Spice Girls, I won't even pay attention to it.
I like that song.
It's a well-written song.
Yeah.
It really, maybe we'll do the Spice Girls one day, because really their songwriting team was pretty phenomenal, but I mean, whatever.
My favorite grocery shopping tunes are always from the Gin Blossom. So you listen to them going, I can see myself picking the ripest banana listening to this song.
And you're just kind of drifting through the grocery store while doing it.
Yep.
So yeah, like I'm also, I guess, kind of middle of the road of this one too, because like there are things I like about it. I do like the storytelling aspect. Again, Don Henley doing a good job of that. Mm-hmm. There's like this lap steel that kind of comes in the second verse that you can kind of hear. It's really nice too. Gives it a very folky kind of feel. So I like that addition. Sounds soothing and nice. Originally I felt like the song didn't have to be so long, because it was like 7 minutes 26 seconds, I believe.
Yes.
So originally when I was just listening to it and kind of getting towards the end, I was like, there's this part around the 4-minute mark where it's just kind of like this very soft piano, and they could have just like played with that and just trickled off, and that would have been the end of the album. Very pretty, kind of sad almost.
Yeah. But
then it picked back up. I'm like, uh-oh, you don't have to blow your load here. Like you had it right there.
Yeah.
But I realized as the ending, especially like the last, I think it's like a minute and a half, I was just kind of gently jamming with the song. It sounded kind of nice. And so, you know what? I enjoyed it enough that I don't mind the length. I'll give it a pass, because I was just like, yeah, this is kind of a nice ending, actually.
Yeah. I have nothing else for it. Like the other slow songs that came before it, they just sort of, they were there. They were buffers between the good songs. And I think it's either just my preference in type of song, or the fact that I have far too much energy to listen to slow songs.
I wonder what this record would have been like if Wasted Time was on side B and Victim of Love was on side A. So you'd have like more or less all these single-esque songs. Obviously, 3 of them are.
Yeah.
But just like all the energy on side A and then just nothing but chill on side B.
Well, that's like an electric acoustics sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. It would be interesting because at least you knew what you would know what you're getting into, and you can choose which side of the record you want that day.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I wasn't there. I wasn't even a sparkle in my daddy's eye.
Victim of Love they just sucked everybody to side B, and they're like, well, now you're here, listen to the rest of this. And they're like, we don't want to. And they're like, listen to it. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, listen to the stuff we probably wrote in like 30 minutes in the studio. I can't say that. They don't sound terrible.
Beef it up.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got nothing else.
That's fine. That means we're done the album. Such a short one this week. But that's fine. I do not complain about short albums.
Yeah, more 70s vinyl releases. Woo.
Yeah, the more 70s albums we do, the shorter these reviews are going to get. Some of them are like 30 minutes long. We could do it.
Yeah.
But if you've made it this far and listening to us talk about Hotel California, then you must like what we're doing. You must like the album to some extent. And so that means you should probably go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons on YouTube. And also, leave your comments and everything. If you made it this far, just simply type in the chat, not chat, but the comments, I understand your point of view on Hotel California, and smiley face emoji. That's it. It would actually it's obviously not going to happen, but it'd be funny if it was like a flood of comments that just said that exact thing. I'm just like, wow, I have control.
And there is your army.
Yeah, exactly. My Hotel California army. That's a weird one to have.
Instead of the Kiss army, you can be the Chris army.
And I will go to war with Gene Simmons, but we're not talking about Gene Simmons.
Steal the logo. Okay. No more wasted time.
I'll say this really, really quick tangent because it's funny, because speaking of Gene Simmons, because I've mentioned on the show before that I do a community radio show on Sundays on my local college station, a classic rock show. We talked about Gene Simmons once, and our talk breaks are only limited to 2-3 minutes. And I had to try so hard talking about Gene Simmons, not go off on a huge rant about him. I had to talk about some really shitty thing that he did. Yeah. So it's so hard to keep myself disciplined and pull it all back in and not just unleash.
Yeah. But as soon as those mics burn hot, you probably let it go.
Lexi Moon, my co-host, she got an unintentional earful. I apologize, Lexi. Okay. So and also audio listeners, of course, you're out there too. You're still listening. Why are you still listening? Thank you for listening. There's 2 moods in one right there. Please subscribe, follow, rate, comment, do everything you can. Help build the community. And also let us know what you think of Hotel California.
Yeah.
And as you're doing that, we'll go into the song rankings of the album. Can 45-year-old songs really hold up all that well? I mean, probably yes is the answer. But we're going to find that out right now. And actually, here's a fun exercise for everyone on YouTube right now. Pause the video right now and write your we'll count wasted time part 2 or whatever. Write in the comments before you listen to our rankings what your rankings are for this album. See if you match up with us. And so that way you can be just as pleasantly surprised as we are.
My guess for me and you, I guess we're going to get 3 or 4.
I was going to say 3 this week.
I have a lot of confidence in this one.
Although there's also a side of me that says 1 if we're lucky. And I think I know which one it's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will just go ahead and go with this. So again, I want to point this out too. So we decided off camera that we're combining Wasted Time Part 2 into one track. If that hadn't happened and they were their own separate tracks, or we removed one or the other, part 2 would have been my number 9, and Wasted Time Part 1 would have been my number 5. I just wanted to get that out there ahead of time.
Okay.
So Wasted Time, because they're combined now, to really change that score for that song. But I will say number, I guess, 8, since we're doing top 8 now, since it's part 2. So number 8 is Pretty Maids All in a Row.
Mine is Wasted Time. And if we were to have added Wasted Time, the reprise, it would have been number 9. So it wouldn't have changed anything for me anyways.
Well, see, Wasted Time's my number 8. So I would have had it way further on the list, but because we combined it, it just dropped it.
Yeah.
So what do you got for your number 7, I guess?
Pretty Maids All in a Row.
Damn it. Are you serious?
Yep.
We one-offed each other right off the top. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Pretty Maids. Okay. My number 6. God, I gotta look up here now.
Ooh, sorry. What was your number 7 again?
My number 7 was Waste of Time, because we're only doing 8 this time, so there's no 9.
Oh, okay. I see. Yes.
What the hell word did I write for my number 6? Was that even a song? Oh, it is. God, again, my brain is just broken. Number 6, The New Kid in Town, or New Kid in Town.
The Last Resort. Okay, my faith is slipping.
Shattered. So my number 5 is Try and Love Again.
Try and Love Again.
There's the number 1. Oh, okay, so we're gonna get 2.
I feel like you definitely know when we match, when I don't even let you finish saying it. And then I'm like, yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. So number 4, I have The Last Resort.
New Kid in Town.
New Kid. All right, so these are the ones. This is going to be, we can either have 2 or 4 on this one, I guarantee, but at least one of these top 3 is going to match. At least one of them.
Yes. I really hope it's all 3 that match.
Well, I have, actually, this one right here is going to be the make or break for that.
Yeah.
Number 3, Hotel California.
Yes.
I think we just beat Daughters, because I know what your number 1 is.
Yeah.
Number 2, Life in the Fast Lane.
And number 1, Victim of Love.
Holy shit. We did on the Eagles of all, Eagles. On Eagles of all bands, Daughters has been dethroned since the beginning of September.
I showed my screen to the camera. Hopefully it caught it, but I showed my list. So, yep.
Because, I think Daughters, and also, that's technically 8 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, I think Daughters was 9 or 10.
So we got 50% on this one. I'm pretty pleased with that.
That's the best we've ever done.
That's what I say. 3 or 4. I was pretty confident with the higher ranking ones, but the lower ones, I kind of figured it was going to be, they were all going to be down there, but just in what order?
I'm in awe right now. I never thought this day would come. And now it also it bothers me slightly knowing that this is probably going to be the album that'll never be touched now.
Yeah.
When it comes to matches.
Yeah. Number one. Yeah,
it's 50%, man. Wow, cool. So that's different. I was not anticipating that at all. So this is genuine reaction here, although my face never changes expressions ever. It's just the Botox. Don't worry about it.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we this week successfully ranked songs 50% worth.
Hell yes.
So now, what were your hopefully yours were really cool too. Hopefully yours matches somewhat with ours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we are going to rate the record. So originally, before, obviously I'm going to give the screen time to transition, but I'll just say, originally, again, not knowing what we were going to do with the Waste of Time Part 2, I wrote 3 scores. And depending on what we did with that song, it was going to make or break a tier. And we're about to find out where that left. So let's see. Give me editor do that stupid transition that's like, here's this image and then just that envelope flip. Do that one. And here it is, just as you remember at the album ranking screen. Although I said I would fix Pitch Shifter from last week, which I did, outscores Nirvana. Actually, we already knew it was going to outscore Nirvana, but I did fix it properly, so it's all good. Everything is lined up. It looks pretty.
Some of these albums I look at and I am ashamed that I am part of their ranking.
Well, I have a feeling that you're probably going to be pretty happy with today's, assuming that you dig Hotel California and such.
Yeah, we'll see. Or typically I will rank it a lower, give it a low rating rather, and get the side eye from you for the rest of the show. Thank goodness we're near the end.
I'm just wondering if you'll actually score this one higher than me, because most of the episodes I score higher than you. Mm-hmm. Some of them you have scored higher than me, but so this one will be interesting. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm going first this week because you went first last week when we did Pitch Shifter. That's correct.
Yeah.
So
let's see how far down I'm going to sink into my chair.
Pulling up Hotel California on the screen here, floating around like the ghost that the song talks about, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, again, there were 3 scores I could have potentially given this album, but the one we went with because of the combination of songs, an even 70%.
Oh my God, I'm an asshole.
Oh, you actually went lower?
I didn't like the slow songs. Yeah.
Well, give it to me then. What do you got?
65-75.
That's actually shocking because I actually thought you were going to go higher.
No, I think the passable grocery store songs definitely brought down the score.
So originally, because I thought you would have it in at least the low 70s,
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go between Daughters and Porcupine Tree. But because apparently you're playing the asshole here.
I thought it was going to go between either Nirvana and Rush or Malibu Ken and the Beastie Boys. Just throwing that out there before we find out.
I think so, because I, again, don't have the scores directly here in front of me, but it came to 67.87%. So it's definitely like up here somewhere, I think.
I'm going to go hide in my hole now. Goodbye.
C tier ranking. Again, this is just becoming like a mountain here of C ranking albums. I would hope the next 2 that we do will change that a little bit.
I hope so. I have some high hopes for this next album, for me at least.
It should be fun.
Hell yeah.
Well, that was unfortunate, but I mean, there's your album ranking for Eagles Hotel California, falls to 67.87 or something along the lines of that. Just slightly better than Rush, apparently.
You know what? Another thing. I'm embarrassed to have taken part in that.
Yeah, that was all you, wasn't it?
It was all me.
I was actually generous with that album. Well, what I felt was generous. I was still in the 60s, but whatever.
I feel like you got to do some pretty crazy musical stuff to impress me. And I think that's why Mr. Bungle's rated so high. I was like, ooh, impressive. Ooh, impressive.
Well, we won't say when, but in the year 2022, we do have it on our calendar of albums to do, the self-titled one, that I should say. So when we eventually get to that one, I think you're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have another A tier on our hands. It's going to be fantastic.
Impressive.
But for now, we're stuck just piling on that C tier, and it's making me kind of sad. But I guess that's just how things go. You just roll the bones, I guess. That's not the proper pun to use for this one, but whatever. I'm going to use it anyway.
It sticks.
Yeah, but you made it all the way to the end. And so thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Leave comments. Let us know what you thought of Hotel California. Do you agree or disagree with either of us? I mean, our scores are close enough, but still just enough to leave us in the C tier. I don't know. I expected I was going to be lower, and I expected you were going to be higher. So the opposite happened. So my brain's not working anymore. I mean, It never was, but still.
It's mush. I see a little bit running out of your nose too.
That's just aesthetic. That's fine. I'll leave it. But yes, thank you very much for tuning in to today's episode of Rate the Record podcast. But before we let you go, we do like to give you a little sneak peek of what to expect on next week's episode. And next week, this one was a special occasion 45th anniversary edition. So we didn't choose this one. It chose us. But anyways, whatever the hell that last part was, Savannah's choosing next week because I chose a Pit Shifter the week before. So what can you tell us about next week's episode?
Well, if you have listened to our Dream Theater episode, you know that all of the members met at the Berklee School of Music. Well, that is similar to next week's band. The singer, like Dream Theater, is Canadian, where the rest of the band. Now, I'm not sure because the band lineup has changed multiple times over the years. Don't know if the rest of them are American still, but that's how it was when they started. Their first album came out in 1996, and the singer and lead guitarist went off, did some solo stuff under his own name, came back to the band, and the band is bigger now than they were when they started.
That is an awful lot of tidbits.
Hell yeah. And I didn't have to look any of those up.
I'll note this interesting fact, so that way you can all carry it into next week's episode. I won't say the band name, obviously, but aside from this podcast, I edit someone else's podcast, and the guy I edit for spoke to the bassist of this band, and he said that first album that you were talking about, the lead singer is so good at songwriting that those were practically just all demos, and it made it as the final album. I
think I heard that on a different podcast or some interview or something. Yeah. And that like he listens to his vocals on that album and he's like, no.
Even though it's great.
He's like,
fine.
I could have done so much better. And I'm like, yeah, they sound like polished, good songs. So
just it goes to show, although we're not doing that album, it just goes to show how damn good the songwriting for this band is.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's going to be a good one next week. I have faith in that one at the very least.
Me too.
But until then, we're going to drop you off here. So thank you very much for tuning in again. We hope you had a great time this week. Join us again next week. So until then, go ahead and listen to some awesome music, and we will see you again real soon. So take care, friends.
Bye-bye.